If you come at the king, you best not miss.
Acknowledge us.
Hey, this is the Red Carpet Ring featuring TBK, the Turnbuckle King himself. We are here today to talk about SummerSlam. We are into the SummerSlam mood. We are here to talk about the best SummerSlams top ranked. So let's talk about it. I know I did another top ranked SummerSlams, but I narrowed it down to 5, and I'm going to do. It's going to be a live here where it's going to be covered of top 5 SummerSlams. You guys get the likes up as we come into the ring, and we're going to talk about the best SummerSlams top ranked. Let's get into it. Let's get the likes up again. We're here live on Facebook and X. Let's get those likes up, guys. Let's get into it.
And welcome to the Figure 4 TV. I'm here with my guy, Red Carpet Ring. Y'all also know him as Toxic Ring Scandals. Salute, my guy. How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm happy to be here. Salute to you, man. Salute to the Figure 4 TV, Figure 4 Leg Lock.
No doubt, man. And we here today because we gonna talk about the biggest party of the summer. We finna talk about the top 5 greatest SummerSlams of all times. I know you have your favorites. I have my favorites. You want to explain to them why SummerSlam is such a great, unique event?
Well, that's easy. We all talk about WrestleMania, which is in the spring of the year, transitioning to that's sometimes at the end of fall or winter. I'm sorry, the end of winter and then beginning of spring, and it kicks off the whole season of spring and everything. But this is summertime. This is SummerSlam. This is the time where kids are out of school. This is the time we had the beach parties. You have the pool parties. And you need something good to watch, and you're gonna have something to watch while it's hot outside. This is SummerSlam. That's the whole thing, SummerSlam. It's kind of similar to what an old pay-per-view try to copy, which is WCW Bash at the Beach, but this is much better than that. It's a summer beach warm thing, and it's something that's really at the end of the summer, midsummer, nearly the tail end of the summer. And this is a great way to kick matches that are mostly SummerSlams are outside now. So it's just a good thing, man. It's a good thing.
Now, you mentioned something that was key, and I remember that coming up, and I've been a WWE fan, WWF fans for a long time, right? So I remember, and what makes SummerSlam so unique. But see, SummerSlam is my third on the big 3. SummerSlam is third on the big 3. I'm more of a Royal Rumble guy, but here's why. Royal Rumble is around my birthday. So it's significant because that's what we watch. I got a chance to order it for all or everybody in the house because that's one of my birthday gifts. Every year, I got one of my birthday gifts was to order the pay-per-view. And SummerSlam was significant because it was the first pay-per-view we get to watch and not have to go to school the next day. And we get to talk about this pay-per-view show with our friends in our neighborhood. We're not going to get a chance to talk about SummerSlam like how we talk about Mania, Survivor Series, or the Rumble, because we be in school during those times. So we only get a chance to talk about we more talk about the event with our with our school peers rather than our neighborhood peers. But that was a good point that you made. Gotta love SummerSlam, guys. What's one of the biggest moments you can remember from SummerSlam before we go on into this list?
What you say again? Repeat that question.
What's one of the biggest moments that you take from SummerSlam?
The biggest moments I remember Daniel Bryan, as you see, Daniel Bryan win the WWE Championship for the first time. I also remember at SummerSlam too, how it tied in with the Money in the Bank contract in the most recent years. the Money Bank contract played a major part at SummerSlam, if you guys really pay attention. I like that too. Another one of my favorite events now, Money in the Bank, every July, right?
Yeah.
So
Nice.
I really adored that part. I already like SummerSlam, but I think when the Money Bank contract was cashed in at at SummerSlam, or at least teased, I think it made it that much better.
And see, I like this SummerSlam for the Intercontinental title, guys. For some strange reason, SummerSlam is attached to the Intercontinental title, changing hands. It's like a change of guard. You normally see the Intercontinental champion at SummerSlam, then he go on to win the Rumble, and right then is when he end up becoming the world's heavyweight champion. And it's been like that. You're going to notice that pattern up until they even had the inaugural WWE Universal title, which brought in the new curse. That brought in a whole new curse, which kicked off.
Yeah, I didn't want to talk about that too much. Universal title. I don't like that title at SummerSlam because they brought out some of the worst matches, in my opinion, but it's still a part of history.
Definitely. So, with that said, let's segue right on into the show. Let's kickstart with number one, guys. And keep in mind, this is no particular order. We'll give you our number one at the end of the list. But we're going to start with 1988 SummerSlam, the inaugural SummerSlam event, guys. Keep in mind, this event took place in the world famous Madison Square Garden, August 29th, 1988. Attendance was 20,000, guys. Man, New York, we gotta get a bigger arena if we want to get these events, especially if we want a WrestleMania. Guys. So let's get a clip going, and we'll get right back, and we'll read off what took place at SummerSlam 1988.
To find out who in fact is the number one challenger now that Brutus the Barber Beefcake has been shelved temporarily.
No question about it, but it doesn't look like the honky.
Nobody sent any word up to us.
Nothing to us, brother. The honky tonk man doesn't care.
His opponent.
He doesn't even want to know.
Here it comes. Who is his opponent? Come on, Howard. Howard doesn't even know.
Howard Finkel, the announcer, doesn't know. Come on, brother. Let's get it
Shook
together.
his head.
Get me somebody out here to wrestle. I don't care who it is.
Don't say that. Don't say that, my man. There's some people back there in the locker room who would take this man apart.
We're all waiting here with anticipation as to who the opponent will be. Well, maybe we haven't got an opponent.
Well, maybe we have an opponent, but maybe he's still lacing up his boots. Who knows, man?
Wait a minute. Somebody's music.
That's familiar music, brother.
They've exploded here in the garden. I don't see anybody yet.
Here is the SummerSlam.
It's the Ultimate Warrior.
One man. Oh, they're going to attack.
Man, that was one of the most important matches in SummerSlam history, guys. And guys, we did a video on this particular SummerSlam, so I ain't gonna say too much on it, but do go back and catch that video. This match was riddled in politics. Honky Tonk Man should have been dropped that title, but he had to drop it tonight. And that forced Brutus the Barber Beefcake to change his whole career to Jestery, because Brutus the Barber Beefcake was supposed to take a run with this Intercontinental Championship. $1 Million Man also, he fell victim because he didn't never have that world's title, so it just was crazy. But KDH, any thoughts? Did you watch this SummerSlam? When did you watch this SummerSlam, and what you thought of this SummerSlam 1988?
I just recently watched it covering on Rumble. Check the link out. It's on the Red Carpet Ring. We did a review on this. It was my first time watching the whole event. And what I thought about it was it was so much politicking back then. And I always wondered, why did Honky Tonk Man hold on to the belt that long? And then also, I know it's another part of SummerSlam. Hogan was a part of the first SummerSlam and the first WrestleMania. That's crazy. This part first of everything. I understand how important he was to wrestling history. And nothing about SummerSlam. I mean, the theme, just the theme itself. Who wouldn't want to watch something like this being a theme? But also, other than that, though, I thought SummerSlam was very good. It was a lot of combined matches. If you think about, look back at the card of SummerSlam back in '88, you had your tag team match, the opening show, the Bulldogs versus the Fabulous Rogos, if I said that correctly. Then you had a couple of singles matches. Regos, yep. You had a couple singles matches, then another tag team match. Then you had the IC match you just shown, and another tag team match. And then you had singles. It was a good mix of tag and singles. And this was all crazy. There was no WWE Championship match, and it was still a very top-notch show. No WWE Championship.
That's a key takeaway there. That's a key note.
And it showed me with WWE, you don't have to book a good show and always put the world title on at the main event, or the women's title now, because women's wrestling is big, but you don't have to do that. You can still book a good show without the world title. And this event proved it. The inaugural one, if anything.
Man, KD, Toxic Ring, Turnbuckle King, I got to give you one of these for that, man.
He knows his opponent is completely helpless to resist the submission hold. He's in full-on attack mode now. There's what?
And now that you say that, it makes a whole lot of sense. That's why the Intercontinental title is so emphasized on these SummerSlams, because you're right. They don't have to emphasize the world's title. And typically the Intercontinental Championship match should be the match of the night.
Well, it's a recent interview, if you guys know about it. Triple H said recently, this was like literally a month ago, he said that WWE is a movie about a sport. He said it's not sports entertainment. He said it's not pro wrestling. He said WWE is cinema, not a sport, just cinema. And ever since he said that a month ago, I've been looking at all the shows, WWE Raw, Monday Night Raw, NXT, or SmackDown, or PLE. Look at it as cinema, not a sport or sports entertainment, or even wrestling for that matter. It's cinema. And when he said that, that's exactly what it is.
Man, you on fire tonight. Let's get to this card real quick, and we'll review the card in its entirety with some pictures. Of course, guys, y'all see there, that was Bad News Brown. He defeated Kent Patera. Getting ahead of ourselves. Followed by Ravishing Rick Rude, who defeated the Junkyard Dog. Also, guys, he defeated the Junkyard Dog. Ravishing Rick Rude defeated the Junkyard Dog by disqualification due to outside interference from Jake the Snake Roberts. They were feuding in a cross feud because Rick Rude, he was being disrespectful. They was pushing the envelope. This is like that first SummerSlam was that first Attitude Era show without us even really knowing, because Rick Rude, he donned a pair of tights with Jake the Snake Roberts' white face on them, and that's what caused the run-in right here. And Jake the Snake wasn't having it. Of course, we just went over the Honky Tonk Man. He didn't have an opponent because they wrote Brutus the Barber Beefcake off TV to get him out of the way so that Warrior could take the title off of Honky Tonk Man, instead of Honky Tonk Man feuding with Brutus the Barber Beefcake. So they had Ron Bass on a TV taping show take out Honky Tonk Man with his spur, and that was that for Brutus the Barber Beefcake with his spur, and that was that for Brutus the Barber Beefcake. So can you imagine, right? Brutus the Bar Beefcake possibly wouldn't have got into that car accident had he won the Intercontinental title, because you have to move it different. You got to move a little different when you're the champion. Can you imagine how his career would have turned out if the order would have stayed the natural order? He was supposed to win. Brutus the Barber Beefcake, that is. KD?
This is crazy. I'm just listening. Yeah, I just see how, like you said earlier, how this SummerSlam shifted a lot of people's runs. Like you mentioned Brutus could have won the belt, and then he got in a car accident. Man, that is wild. Yeah.
Yep.
That's just, well, Honky Tonk, since he did that, I noticed his career never went nowhere else after he lost the Intercontinental belt. He didn't do nothing else significant after that. Nothing.
Nope. I mean, and we can go into how Honky Tonk Man, the character, was created. Honky Tonk Man was sitting in the back and catering, and Hulk Hogan pitched that Honky Tonk Man take the title off of Tito Santana. You know what I mean? Who had to go somewhere. He had to go away for a little minute. And that's how Honky Tonk Man came about. It was just a rib. He was just gonna hold the title and transition it on over. But
that's crazy. Yeah, that's
crazy.
It was because Honky Tonk Man, he didn't. That's all he had was, if you look at his career, that's all he had was the Intercontinental title run, and he doesn't even have that anymore. Honestly, since Gunther has recently broke the record, he broke that record. He don't have that to his name anymore.
Honky Tonk Man was gifted the record because he didn't do Vince dirty when he had a chance to do Vince dirty. He had a chance to take that Intercontinental title to Jim Crockett? Yeah, Jim Crockett Promotions.
Yeah.
And Honky Tonk Man he said, listen, I got an offer. And Vince made it right. But let's keep it moving. Lucky Honky Tonk Man. But y'all know this is one of the quickest Intercontinental title matches in the history of Intercontinental title matches. Ultimate Warrior whipped them up real quick, whipped them up in the shape, something real proper. Down to the finish, Honky Tonk Man staged the whole match. Honky Tonk Man created and choreographed this whole entire match for the Warrior. And he was so worried about the Warrior hurting him that Honky Tonk Man did not allow Warrior to execute this splash while he was on his back. Honky Tonk Man was like, no. He didn't trust the Warrior to do it on his back. So if you pay attention, Honky Tonk Man is one of the only people to ever roll over and just take the splash from the front. You know what I mean? Of course, we had a title change. We had the tag team titles. They changed hands as Axe and Smash Demolition defeated the Hart Foundation. Also, we had the dawning and the christening, the rollout of the Big Boss Man. And y'all see his manager Slick right there. So, Boss Man, as he defeated Coco Beware. And Jake the Snake had his own match that night. He wrapped up Hercules. Andre the Giant came out, thought he was doing something, and he pulled that snake out, scared him off, because this was the ending of the Heenan family. The Heenan family was just about wrapping up, and it was dissolving. Andre was getting a little bit old. He was taking on the manager role. And you'll see 2 years later, Andre was like, he was really out of commission, had 2 canes, and we'll get to that. Now we get to the main event, guys. We get to the main event. The Mega Powers, Hulk Hogan and Randy Macho Man Savage defeats the Mega Bucks, Andre the Giant and Ted DiBiase. And the special guest referee, keep that in mind. This is not the first time Jesse the Body Ventura going to be the special guest referee, but we're getting ahead of ourselves again. Jesse the Body Ventura. So we already knew. We just knew going into this match, guys. For those of you that didn't know, we knew going into this match that Jesse the Body Ventura was probably going to get paid off by the $1 Million Man. The $1 Million Man was paying off everything. He tried to buy the world's title. He bought himself a good number, a good spot in the tournament. he just will buy anything. He thought that everybody has a price. So we just knew Jesse has the price. And as you can see, Elizabeth jumped up there and she stripped that skirt off. And KD, how much negotiating did you think they had to do with the Macho Man to get this ending to be the way it was?
Oh, they did a lot of negotiation there. You gotta pay me good there. I would say,
I could only imagine. I was a fly on the wall.
I would say Macho Man, let's just say he got a very hefty paycheck, if not the highest paycheck on the whole roster, even more than Hulk Hogan, to do that. Because
he was the champion at the time too. Keep in mind, guys.
Yeah, they did that because I know Macho would never originally went for this. They probably had to beg that man to do it, and he did it.
Right. They had to drug the Macho Man. But what was funny about this match, guys, is storytelling at its greatest. You see how Liz threw the dress on $1 Million Man, like taking it off wasn't good enough. Throwing it on him, putting it on him. That did it. And then Macho capitalized on the distraction and they wrapped him up. Won't Jesse fronted like if he ain't want to make the 3 count. Hogan stood over him like, bro, if you don't put that 3 on, and Jesse went on and put the 3 on. He went on and put the 3 on.
Yeah, he began a slow 3 count.
Yeah. And guys, let's go back to the booking, long-term booking. And it's always been this way with the E. They have long-term booking, meaning Macho Man, they planted seeds for the breakup. They wasn't even fully, they just started becoming a team. This is what made them the Mega Powers right here. This is what put them together as the Mega Powers. But in them becoming a team, they also planted seeds for the breakup, because this is where Hulk Hogan go take it upon himself to lift Miss Elizabeth up in just the bottom there. You know what I mean? Small Cheeks was winning at this time, but he lifted her up, put her on his shoulder, and the Macho Man for like a hot 67 seconds glitched out, and they reconciled, and it was all right. So we thought. You know what I mean? But this was a great show. And being that it was the first one, man, this is gonna be hard to beat this one, KD. What you think before we wrap this one on up?
You're right. I mean, you're right on the money. I mean, they told a great story with Macho and Hulk, and they always do that with WWE. They either become rivals first, then tag team partners, or tag team partners, then rivals. So if they never were rivals and they were tag team partners, kind of similar to Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. They're going to eventually become rivals, and Elizabeth was a very key factor in that. So definitely, this was a great storytelling. I love how they told the story, and it was nothing else more to be said. I mean, it's a SummerSlam.
Absolutely. And side note, guys, this also started the feud between the Quebecers, the Mountie, and his brother, and the Dynamite Kid and the British Bulldog. Their feud started here in the back locker rooms while they was wrestling. Mr. Perfect, you know what I mean? He cut up the boys' gear, and because the Rougeau brothers came out first, and the Dynamite Kid came out after them, they thought that the Dynamite Kid did it while they was going out to the ring, not knowing it was Mr. Perfect the whole time. Started a whole feud. Mountie ended up knocking Dynamite teeth out his mouth, and Dynamite never been the same. He went into depression. They fired them, and the rest was down here for the Dynamite Kid, guys. But we're going to move it on. We're going to get to the next one. Keep in mind, there's no order, no particular order, but let's get to the next one. In order of year. If anything, we're going to go in the order of the year.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall, and it is for the Intercontinental Championship.
Oh, I can't wait to see this one.
I think it's fair to say that the athleticism on display in this match will be unlike anything we've seen in quite some time.
Oh boy, we're in for a treat tonight. Both of these superstars look geared up and ready to go. Hey, it's Halloween, Cole. The only day of the year that you can go out and look normal.
Man, now we get to the butter, y'all. SummerSlam 1991. Match made in heaven and match made in hell. I never forget this one right here. This is one of my favorites right here, guys. Yes, it is. The double main event. KDH, holla at me. When did you see this one, and how did you think? What you think about this show?
I saw this maybe over a year ago, and this SummerSlam, I thought 88 was good. This one is right up there with the 88. It's up there. I mean, it has so many good moments with the wedding. Then you got the match made in hell, and then you had the great Intercontinental Championship match that's underrated. I mean, what more can be said with this? And then you had the commentaries of Heenan and Monsoon. What more can be said, man? I mean, great. Even Virgil and Teddy DiBiase had a great story. It's just amazing. It's amazing SummerSlam.
Man, now this SummerSlam right here is the perfect example of what I just was telling y'all about that IC title, man. For some reason, the IC title have the best matches at SummerSlam, man. Remember, the very next year, Brett and British Bulldog turned out for the IC title. It's something with the IC title and SummerSlam. But again, this was dope. This was a very, very good SummerSlam overall. Let's check out the card, guys. Let's look at how the card shaped out. Again, don't think I'm being biased because we went back to New York, back to the Mecca, Madison Square Garden for this one. August 26, 1991, 20,000. The main event, Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior versus Sergeant Slaughter and General Adnan and Colonel Mustafa, guys. And this was a good one. This was a good one. Of course, you guys, we just went over the Bret Hart and Mr. Perfect match. You know what I mean? Bret Hart, Mr. Perfect put over Bret Hart in that one. And Mr. Perfect went on to take care of his back. Mind you, guys, keep note, Mr. Perfect fought this match with a bad disc in his back. You know that joint that Shawn Michaels had that put Shawn Michaels out? That was the same thing that had Mr. Perfect went through his whole match, made Bret Hart look super good with that injury, guys. Keep that in mind. A lot of people don't give Mr. Perfect current innings his real credit and his real due. But while he was in the back ribbing people, he also was putting on in that ring. Let's look at the card. So SummerSlam kicked off with the British Bulldogs and Ricky Steamboat and the Texas Tornado defeated Powers and Glory. That's Hercules, Paul Roma, and the Warlord. And let me tell you something. Texas Tornado might have botched his turn in line because it was supposed to be the Texas Tornado turn. The year before this, Texas Tornado took the strap off of Mr. Perfect at SummerSlam 90. You know what I mean? So somewhere down the line, Texas Tornado botched his run because for him to go from winning the IC title in 1990 to being put and placed in a 3-on-3 tag team match the next year, what you think about that, KD?
That's just crazy. I know since SummerSlam, man, it's a lot of people that went business for themselves, man. I see that. And Texas Tornado was no different, man. No different. Why would he do that? Who knows? Everybody want to go business for themselves, bro. Because they won a 6-man tag between himself, British Bulldog against Warlord, Power, and Glory, if I'm not mistaken. But who would have known that they were not supposed to do that? Who would have known that, you know?
Right. So now that leads us to Bret Hart defeating Mr. Perfect in that title match right there. Great match, y'all. This is a lot of people talk about Macho Man Randy Savage versus Ricky Steamboat for the IC title at WrestleMania. That might be the best WrestleMania IC title match, but that is not the best IC title match in history of IC title matches. This is, guys. If you want to learn how to become a technical wrestler, you're going to watch this match. You're going to study this match, guys. I'm not even going to cap to you. This is better than that Savage and Steamboat match.
I agree. I definitely agree with that. It is. It really is.
Because, and that's not taking anything away from that match.
And you got to remember, too, that match, no disrespect to Macho and Steamboat, that had more star power. That was Macho Man. Bret Hart, Mr. Perfect, compared to Macho, not so much star power. That's why they got the recognition they did. I'm just saying. It's crazy. Number star power in that match. But there's no star power here. You got Bret Hart. You got a part of Hart Foundation. You got Mr. Perfect. It was nowhere near popular like Randy Savage was. Nowhere near that on that popularity level. Nowhere near. And because they weren't popular like that, that's why this match will get talked about. And then two, Mr. Perfect doesn't have the best reputation. Savage did got bad sour at the end. Mr. Perfect whole WWE run, not so much a good reputation. It's sour. Even when he returned in late 2002 before he passed, and the Play Ride from Hell was another story. Not the best reputation. So they're not going to mention this match. And of course, Bret Hart, we already know the deal with him. I'm not getting to that. Not the best reputation either. It's better now, much better. But at the time, not so good. So they're not going to mention this match. And that's how WWE does. They don't have a good reputation. They don't like you at that time. They're really not going to mention anything you did prior, even if it was a 5-star match.
Definitely. This is a 6-star match. And with that said, this match was followed by the natural disasters. That's Earthquake and Typhoon, guys. They defeated the Bushwhackers, Brother Butch and Luke. And in the Bushwhackers corners, guys, they had remember I told you Andre the Giant they had an ailing Andre the Giant. Like, this was one of the last appearances we've seen Andre the Giant. This was one of the last shows, SummerSlam 91, one of the last times we saw Andre the Giant in a wrestling capacity. You can see he got two sticks there. No laughing matter, but it was over for the Giant at this point.
It was.
Mm-hmm.
Giant was it's over for you, bro. It's over for you.
Facts. In that match, now we get into the butter. Virgil defeats Ted DiBiase to win the $1 million title. Keep in mind, guys, that was the championship that WWE gifted the $1 Million Man because of the whole honky tonk man, shebang bang boom, and having to put the title on Macho Man. So $1 Million Man ended up getting jerked. So they gave him his own title. And Virgil won it that night. Virgil won it. And that was a hell of a story. That story, the long-term writing of that story, is everybody in the Garden, everybody in New York was behind this man Virgil, bro. That was one of them great, well-told stories. One of them, it's equated, it's equal to the Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Wrestling's fallout, right? It's one of those type, man, Hollywood can't write a better story. What do you think about this story, feud, and match?
I thought it was a great story. I thought it was not only just a great story, it showed that, hey, this was a guy who got tired of being jerked around. He stood up for himself, and he beat the guy that was jerking him around, treat him like crap, and he takes his title. Can't be a better story than that.
Facts. The overcoming your oppressor story. Everybody is gonna eat that up. You're gonna eat that one up. In New York City at that. The black man won in New York.
Oh my God.
Only in New York. Only in New York.
Only in New York.
And now, wow, this could have been match of the night, guys. I'm not holding you. If Bret Hart and Mr. Perfect didn't tear down the house, this would have been the match of the night. And now this was the Big Boss Man defeating the Mountie. Mind you, the Mountie, he reinvented himself. His brother got hurt, and he didn't come back very good. So he ended up becoming a Mountie. He ended up having his own character, making his own solo run, and being very successful. But guys, did you know behind the stage politics on this? Vince McMahon wrote this match the way he wrote it to write the Mountie's character off television because Vince was getting faced with a cease and desist letter from the Mounties in Canada. The real Mounties in Canada was telling Vince that he was sullying their image and he was giving them a bad name and he was slandering them. Like, so they really had Vince by the neck, and Vince had to pull a plug on the Mounties. So he had 3 months to fix that, to use the Mountie, and he ended it with the Boss Man and Mountie ended up having to go to jail. And that's how they wrote the Mountie off television, y'all. But that was another great story. The Mountie versus the Cop. You can't beat that. KD?
Yeah, I'm listening. Yeah. This was a great way to write them off. But the thing about Vince back then, you could tell with all this stuff going on backstage, this was still pretty much this was overwhelming for Vince, bro. This was a lot of new stuff. He had WrestleMania. He started a new event. He had all this stuff going on. So it's definitely new. And this was a great way to write off the Mountie. It wouldn't be done no other way. So definitely a good way for that to happen. And also with Big Boss Man, this made him look good too. That's when Big Boss Man really got noticed a little bit more. He was really starting to get some notice. You know, I prefer the Attitude Era Boss Man. That's me though. Yeah. So other than that, this was a great event. Good, Bray, you still there?
Yes, sir. I'm listening, man. I'm just, man. It's always an honor to have you here with us. Salute to those of you watching at the Red Carpet Ring, Toxic Ring Scandals. You know what I mean? Salute to you guys for just accepting us here at the Figure 4 TV and letting us borrow y'all tribal chief.
Yeah, Mountie, he was something else, man. So Vince had to do what he had to do. Yeah, Vince had to do what he had to do. But as much as great as SummerSlam, I'm gonna start calling this politics slam. So many politics backstage. So much backstage stuff, man. You know, if they if they only could, I wish they could have back then. If they have the footage, I would love to see a real backstage behind the scene of this whole particular pay-per-view. It would have been crazy. But I know they don't have no footage of that. And if they did, they erased that already. That's erased.
That's gone. But you know what was crazy about this? WWE started to take the cameras outside of the ring and outside. They actually followed the Mountie's journey through the central bookings. You know what I mean? Downtown 100 Center Street. He was really downtown 100 Center Street. For those of my New Yorkers, you know what I'm talking about. And they followed them, yo. Then like throughout the whole pay-per-view, I think this was what number was this? This was match number five. And then they still had four more matches to go. So they followed them.
Number 6. Yeah, number 6. So they had 3 more. Yeah. Number 6.
Yeah, and every other segment, they went back to him in the jail. And then of course they had the guy the pervert that wanted to get him. And it was just funny. This was great TV during a pay-per-view. Like, that was the first time I ever seen, like, during a live pay-per-view where they cut from the ring action to an actual outside. Wow, it was mind-blowing, guys. Great feud, great ending, great setting, great booking, great SummerSlam. Guys.
And also too,
that
this SummerSlam, people don't know, it was held on a Monday, not a Sunday. That was interesting too. Monday. It was not on a Sunday.
Facts. Guys, that match was followed by the WWF Tag Team Championship Street Fight. This is where the Legion of Doom, now this is more politics, guys, more politics. The Legion of Doom, Hawk and Animal, they defeated the Nasty Boys to finally win the WWE Tag Team titles, guys. Finally, because there was some politics, and Vince wasn't trusting to put the title on them. Vince wasn't paying them enough to put the title on them, and we're going to dig into that another day. I'm going to leave that for another day. If that was followed by Irwin R. Shyster, that is Bray Wyatt dad. Salute and rest in peace to the brother Bray Wyatt. His dad fought Greg. His dad defeated Greg the Hammer Valentine, and that'll bring us to our main event, guys. And this picture that's on your screen is significant because Warrior ain't stopped running to this day.
Yeah, Warrior.
You want to break that thing down to us, man?
Yeah, I would like to. It was controversy written around this man's name. Now they said that it was an incident. They said the month prior that Warrior wrote a letter to McMahon threatening to no-show the main event tag team match unless he was paid $550,000 that he claimed that was owed to him for his match at WrestleMania 7. And it said that Hulk Hogan and Slaughter later revealed later on, I think it was in 2005, later on, they said it was dealing with the matter of physicality for Vince. The matter physically for Vince McMahon's possibility when they became aware of Warrior's threat. What I mean by that, Hogan and Slaughter wanted to give Warrior that work after they found out what he was doing. They wanted to beat him up. But Vince McMahon told Hogan and Slaughter, do not do nothing. Don't touch Warrior. Don't get an altercation. Let me pay him for his money, and then I'm going to fire him. That's how much heat this man had. Hogan and Slaughter want to not beat this dude up. And he got fired after SummerSlam. He did get paid because Warrior's not contracted. So he got paid. They said, "I'll pay him because he needed him for the main event. He's an attraction. He was he was a world. Well, not at the time. He was a former world champion, big name.
Makes sense.
And Warrior, and he's I'm a Fire Warrior. You're done." And then Warrior responded on his website that the allegation saying he was owed money for the WrestleMania 7, and he was suspended by McMahon immediately after the show, but he quit WWF out of protest. He quit. So it was just crazy. It was crazy, man. He really politics his way through the whole match, and then you upset the people in the match with you. So
incredible. That's crazy. And now that was the match made in hell, followed by the match made in heaven. And the main event of the show, this is how they rewrote Macho Man back in. Once they learned that they were losing the Warrior, right, they had to start to find a way to rewrite the Macho Man back in. Because remember, guys, prior to this, in WrestleMania, he lost to the Ultimate Warrior in the career-ending match. So, you know what I mean? They wrote him off TV, but to bring him back in TV, they have him and Elizabeth. Because remember, Macho King was a whole different character. The Macho King, after the Mega Powers broke up, he went to the dark side. You know what I mean? He got rid of Elizabeth. He got linked up with Sensational Sherry, and he became the Macho King. And when the Warrior retired him, guess who came to his rescue? Queen Elizabeth. So they played off of that whole storyline right there. Remember, guys, if you go back, WrestleMania 7, after Warrior beat him, Sherry started slapping on Macho Man, and out came from the audience, Miss Elizabeth gave Sherry that work and rescued the Macho Man, and they ran with that story. So this was, man, one thing I noticed about SummerSlam, and it being that it's the biggest party of the summer, they always send you home with a smile. They always send you home with a smile. And if you notice, a lot of the main events have been tag matches where you get to see two of your stars team up and take on the supervillains. So we just saw Macho and Hogan team up in that first one. Then we seen Hogan and Ultimate Warrior team up in this one. So you gotta watch the booking. It'd be fun. SummerSlam is just fun. And I hope they don't stop the fun. Anything you want to say before we go on to the next?
yeah, it was just interesting. How could Macho Man and Elizabeth do this wedding storyline, and in real life they got divorced a year later? That means they was going through real life marital issues. How could you get yourselves together, going through real life issues, saying we're going to play like we're married, but in real life we are on the verge of getting a divorce? Because this was at 91, the wedding, but the divorce was finalized at 92. They might have been separated at this point. I'm saying how it's hard to two people. I know it's business and all to get yourself together and play this married couple on TV, but you're really about to get a divorce if not separate already. I'm just saying, and you won't even notice that watching it. I'm just saying because they was married from 84 to 92. People don't know. I'm just saying that's a great story because I'm like they got divorced in real life a year later. Well, great. I guess they put the personal issues aside. A lot of marital people cannot do that. They're like, nah, it's probably best we don't do that.
Yes. See, and emotions, people be running off of how they feel. Them temporary feelings be having people make long-term decisions, and that be where they mess up. And, you know, some people think having a baby fix a messed up situation. Some people even think getting married fixed a messed up situation. Some people just need to not be together. They just need to be friends, just need to chill and separate. But man, we having a good old time. I hope everybody's having a good old time. Please hit the like button, and at some point in time, guys, hit the links that's floating around in the chat, in the live chat, so that you can subscribe to all of the channels if you like wrestling content. Guys, let's move it on. Let's get to the next one, guys.
It doesn't get any bigger than this. The Heartbreak Kid.
The following contest is a no-holds-barred match. Making his way to the ring from San Antonio, Texas, weighing in at 227 pounds, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
The showstopper, Mr. WrestleMania. Shawn Michaels has earned every single moniker bestowed upon him in his career. Gentlemen, Hulkamania is about to run wild.
There is only one, the Immortal. And his opponent from Venice Beach, California, weighing in at 302 pounds, Hulk Hogan.
So between WCW and WWE, Hogan has had double-digit world title reigns. Not to mention he's a two-time WWE Hall of Famer and the biggest name in the business in the 80s and 90s.
Man, now see, I just recently watched this match myself. You put me on to this match. I did not. I lost touch of watching wrestling from 2002 till I want to say 2009, the end of 2009-ish. I was in a whole different transition of my life. I was raising my daughter and I was distracted from my true passion. You know what I mean? I almost let them take me from my joy, steal my joy. So, KD, take us through this time and era, 2005, and the wrestling climate and what was going on here.
Okay. Well, this is 17 years later after the last SummerSlam we mentioned. So a lot of things have changed. Well, it's not WWF no more. It's now WWE. Still pay-per-view. And this is this point, as you guys know now today, this was the part of the first brand split. There are two separate shows, but at events like SummerSlam, they were dual branded. They all jointly come together. And also a fun fact here, we highlighted the 1991 SummerSlam. That was the last SummerSlam Hogan was in until this SummerSlam here.
Wow.
17 years later, he arrived. It's a coincidence. We just covered the SummerSlam. He was just in the main event. He would not appear in no more SummerSlams until this event here. So this was definitely a homecoming for SummerSlam-wise for Hulk Hogan. But now he's not that Hulk Hogan no more. He's still red and yellow, but he's a lot older. And now he's going against another star, which is, legend versus icon. That's the whole marketing brand. Main event, Shawn Michaels versus Hulk Hogan. Shawn Michaels and Hogan were tag team partners, Hogan, Shawn Michaels looked up to Hogan, idolized. They had a tag team match against Carlito and another person, and Shawn Michaels mocked him. Not mock him, but emulated him. Did the whole muscle thing, pumping the muscles, flexing, and then he sweet chin Hogan and looked down on him. And this was Shawn Michaels' first heel turn since he returned to WWE back in 2002. First time he ever did a heelish move.
Ooh,
And,
okay.
Yeah. So this really beefed it up. And Hulk Hogan cut a promo saying, Shawn, if you want to match me, you didn't have to super kick me, because just ask. And Shawn Michaels, being an arrogant heel, he mocked Hogan in interviews with CNN with Larry King, with a Larry Keenish style. He dressed like Hogan, mocked him. It was very funny. It was just a funny feud. But rumor has it that they were supposed to have a 3-series match. Hogan will win, I think, all of them, if not 2 of them. And Shawn Michaels was like, I'm not doing all that. Hogan, you're not getting over all these matches. So that's why the whole infamous overselling, which is hilarious. Like I said, the whole feud was hilarious. Even the match.
It was.
Humping over, jumping over. And if you look at the footage, Hogan looked pissed. He said, "Stop it, Shawn." And Shawn said, "Shut up." That was funny. So there was real heat between these two. And this is a case of Hogan's politicking going way too far. Because we gotta remember like I said, it's not the same Hogan. Hogan at this point was 51, early 50s. And Shawn Michaels still pretty much in his good prime. So Shawn Michaels like, dude, you're not even at Hulk Hogan no more. And he's still politicking? No. And I don't blame Shawn for that. So it's just Hogan didn't want to let go of the torch, as they call it. But it was a very good, funny match. Now, did we get a rematch or any other type match we two? Thank goodness we didn't get that. But it headlined the SummerSlam. And also we know for other great moments at SummerSlam, but this particular main event was funny. It was a great event. Very great event. This was at Washington, D.C. We know that it was attendance of 18,000. And the tagline, Hogan versus Michaels for the first time ever. And this was a Raw thing. Shawn Michaels was always on Raw. Like I said, branded. But it was just funny, though. SummerSlam, funny. There was a lot of good moments on this card here. A lot of good ones.
No doubt.
05 was actually a good match, a good year for Shawn Michaels, because this is the same year he had the WrestleMania match against Kurt Angle and other stuff. So he actually had a very good year. But I'm going to go down. We can talk about other matches on the card.
I bet. So, show kicked off with Chris Masters defeating Hurricane. Then we went into Chris Benoit defeating Orlando Jordan to win the United States title, guys. Orlando Jordan was underrated.
Yeah, I liked Orlando Jordan. He was part of Cabinet with JBL on SmackDown.
Okay. Yep. And we know Chris Benoit was on his way up.
Yeah. Yeah, he was on his way to win another world title until his demise.
Mm-hmm. Then that was followed by what you see on the board there, Edge defeating Matt Hardy via KO.
Well, that looks like Guerrero and Ray match. That right there on the screen.
Sorry, guys.
No, it's all right. Just want to say it's not the match. I never knew Edge and Matt Hardy be that short.
See, I don't got a picture. I don't got a picture of that thing. But this is Ray. This is Ray and Eddie. This is Ray and Eddie. So yeah, I don't got a picture of Matt and Edge. But I know there is some backstage politics that you can fill us in on with this match right here. I know the story might be long, but can you give us a quick skim through of what's going on here? Because like I said, SummerSlam riddled with the fiddle. It's riddled with the bull.
Well, okay. Well, we know that Edge and Matt Hardy were close friends for a long time. They always had a rival tag team. Hardy Boys with Matt Hardy, him and his brother Jeff versus Edge and Christian, Edge, him and his boy Christian. So they always had, and then we know Lita was the girlfriend of Matt Hardy. And Matt Hardy, I think Lita went down with a injury. It was an injury. And Lita was riding along with Edge. And they got close. And then they ended up having an affair. And Matt found out about it. And he dumped Lita. What happened with Matt Hardy, he took the real life affair, he broadcasted it on Bite This. And when he did that and WWE management found out what happened, he was released due to that. He was released because he put it out there. But here's the thing. This is pre-social media. if anything, it was the beginning. We were still in Black Planet or beginning of Facebook days. Anyway, I guess the fans saw how Matt was being done, all the backlash they gave Lita and Edge. Vince McMahon, he loves to turn real life situations to a storyline. He saw that, and they petitioned for Matt to come back. They said, let's bring him back and let's start a storyline. And there's this we hear he let, remember on an episode of Raw, he let Matt cut a promo. And I know one part in the match, I think it was on Raw, it was like a real fight between Matt and Jeff. Matt and Edge. If you look, they had to be separated for real. It looked like because if you to tell in a promo, Matt wasn't even call him Edge. He was called by what they call him now, AEW, his real name, Adam. That's how he knew it was real. I'm like, whoa, called him Adam. So it was a real fight, But anyway, it led to a match at SummerSlam, and it wasn't a long match. It was about 4 minutes, maybe 4.5 minutes. And it was just Edge defeated Matt Hardy by technical knockout. Was not long at all.
That shocked the mess out of me when I got to watching this, following the feud, understanding what happened, and tracking it down for this match. And like, wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. Because Hardy's head had hit the ring post and he was bleeding. And Matt Hardy was incapable of defending himself, and the referee just stopped the match, and Edge won. Many fans were very disappointed, as well as me, because it was such a highly anticipated match by the fans, because they knew what was going on, and to end in 4.5 minutes, like, it's a bummer.
Right, you wanted to see Edge get his ass. I wanted to see Edge get his ass whipped.
Yeah.
You stole that man girl.
Yeah, Mr. Steal Your Girl. So it was crazy though. And Edge, he just all over the place. But definitely that was the whole story between Edge and Matt Hardy. And they had more matches, but this match was very short. That's what we talked about. It was only 4.5 minutes. No under 5 minutes. So it was, you would thought it was a squash match, but it was a technical knockout match.
Yikes. So now I was getting ahead of myself. We got this, which was the ladder match. Winner gets custody of Dominique. This was Rey Mysterio defeating Eddie Guerrero. Now, I know a lot of us was joking about, we think that this SummerSlam should have been a ladder match as well, and it should have been for the custody of Dominique as well. What do you think?
This was a good story because we had never seen a match like this before, where they were saying Eddie may be the dad and all that stuff and all of that. But what's funny, this match had a real life shoot as well. If you remember, Eddie Guerrero was at the top of the ladder. Vicky missed her cue to come out there. Eddie was going off.
Good call. Yes.
People forgot about it. He said, hey,
Eddie was mad. Eddie was mad, hot. But he impropped it. Yeah, he did improp to it, but he was hot.
Because Vicky, remember, she stopped him from getting the briefcase. That's what caused him to lose.
Right.
But Vicky came out way too late. Eddie was hot. Then she came out, she held on to Eddie, and Mysterio retrieved the briefcase. So
yeah, botched the whole ending. She botched
and
the whole ending.
What's crazy is, other than the Batista, this was like one. No disrespect to that storyline, because it really wasn't finished due to him passing away. This was the last big storyline Eddie Guerrero was in before he passed. The last big storyline. Batista was starting to get big, but it ended prematurely. That's why I'm not gonna count that. It was the last active storyline he was in. I'm talking about big. This was the last one, so this was very significant for Eddie. And of course, this is his last SummerSlam he was ever in, because he passed away. He never been in SummerSlam again after this.
Facts. And now that match right there was followed by the Eugene Invitational. Winner gets Angle's Olympic gold medal. Kurt Angle defeated this guy. Now, can you brief us on who the hell is Eugene, bro? Who is brother Eugene?
Eugene is the storyline nephew of Eric Bischoff. If you guys remember, Triple H and Evolution, they he had a little story. He had a big story with Triple H Evolution, and Triple H used Eugene after Triple H lost the World Heavyweight Championship to Chris Benoit at WrestleMania 20 in New York City, your town. He was using Eugene to try to use him to get the world title back if Eugene had screwed Chris Benoit, and it failed. Did not work. Chris Benoit retained his title, and when Triple H and Evolution saw it didn't work, Triple H Evolution days, he got that work. That was like the big storyline, and he was, like I said, he was the nephew of Eric Bischoff, and he was partnered with William Regal as well. And Triple H, I think Triple H and Evolution had beat up William Regal, but that's how he got noticed. And after that storyline was done, remember that was 2004, a year prior. Then they just threw him in this storyline here with Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle wasn't doing anything. It was silly. They weren't really doing anything. Eugene was a big Triple H fan. That's how he got with Triple H, and The Rock fan. He would do the Stone Cold Stunner, the Rock Bottom, pedigree. He did all that during this match with Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle just, he snapped that ankle lock on him, and he tapped Eugene out, and that's how he won the match. But anyway, that's how Eugene was known. He was really known through the Triple H Evolution storyline after Triple H lost his title at WrestleMania.
Okay, cool. Now that match was followed by Randy Orton defeating the Undertaker. Now, man, this is all you right here, man. All I do know is this feud. All I heard about this feud is Randy Orton's father is dead wrong for injecting himself in this feud and not saying, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I actually covered this on Red Carpet Ring, the very early Red Carpet Ring, when it was really early. This feud was actually underrated. Now, this is a continuation of the feud from WrestleMania 21 earlier this year, where Orton did lose. This was when the streak was implemented. And now Undertaker, he lost this match due to the distraction of Bob Orton, and it caused Randy Orton to hit the RKO. Now they will have another match at Armageddon and another match with Orton versus Orton's dad versus Undertaker. This is a very long rivalry. It was on SmackDown brand, but this was a very, very underrated feud. And it was really pretty much the age of Orton that he was coming out. Very good story. I like how Undertaker let Orton get the win because Undertaker already won at Mania. But this was a very, very good feud, and it furlonged the feud. And yeah, like you said, Bob Orton was wrong, and what he referred to as Bob Orton. I think it was the Armageddon match. It wasn't this match. You're talking about Armageddon where he had blood, and he had hepatitis C, which Bob Orton thought went away 30 years prior. That's how he was first diagnosed with it. And once he found out he had it, he informed Mr. Talent of Relations, the head of that, John Laurinaitis, who also knew about. But the thing about it is, they did not inform the Undertaker about this, and that's what caused Undertaker to get hot. And I don't blame him because he could have had hepatitis if that went inside his bloodstream, and he would have been with it. And it caused the release from Bob Orton, and he has not been seen in WWE since then. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Thanks. Good wrap up. And that match, guys, was followed by John Cena versus Chris Jericho. And what was a little backstory on this match right here?
Now, Chris Jericho, this is when John Cena first got drafted to Raw, the last pick. He's fresh off SmackDown winning title WrestleMania 21. Like I said, Chris Jericho, I think he had just turned heel. Anyway, they had a match at SummerSlam after I think this was it was pretty much a last attempt of Chris Jericho trying to, win the title because, Eric Bischoff was GM of Raw. He did not approve of John Cena being champion. He wanted Jericho to get the belt off him, but John Cena would not do business the dirty way, storyline-wise. And Cena hit a FU, as you see here, and he retained the title. He defeated Chris Jericho. Now, the following night after this match, Chris Jericho had one more chance, and this is the year fire match. And if Chris Jericho would not win the WWE Championship, and another opportunity against Cena, it was a year fire match. And of course, Cena won. And this is the way to write off Chris Jericho, as he was exhausted from the WWE schedule, being on the road 300 days a year. He took time off Clear's head. We want to see him for another 2 years. And then after this, he started a storyline with Kurt Angle, who just beat Eugene. But this is a way to write off Chris Jericho. Jericho was exhausted. He was frustrated with WWE, inner stories, and all that. So they wrote him off this way. That's why he did not win the WWE Championship.
All right. Now that match was followed by the main event, and we quite went over the main event real thorough. We went over the main event thoroughly.
Well, we had this Batista versus JBL for the world title. That was right before the Hogan and HBK match.
Right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Right. We do have the Batista. Ray, there you go, right there. The Batista versus JBL. Backstory.
Yes. Okay. Like John Cena was drafted to Raw from SmackDown, or in reverse, Batista was the very last pick. He was the world champ who also won at WrestleMania 21. He got drafted from Raw to SmackDown. Him and Cena basically switched places as world champs on either show. JBL, he became number one since they didn't know that Batista was coming to SmackDown. They had wrote in that SmackDown would get a new championship. It was called, which was dumb to me, the SmackDown World Championship. I know he did that with the women's later on. Anyway, JBL and Christian was in the last, like a little tournament. JBL had defeated Christian, and JBL thought he had won the new SmackDown World title, and he won. He was happy, and Teddy on, let me holler at you, player. You did win the match, player, but we don't need that SmackDown World title no more. And JBL was talking about, well, we have a draft pick, and it's Batista, the World Heavyweight Champion. So what they did was, instead of giving him, since that title, is not existent, instead of you winning this new title, JBL, you are now the number one contender for the World Heavyweight Championship against Batista, the new drafted to SmackDown. This match will be at SummerSlam for a Texas Bull Rope match. Now, the thing about it is, I think they had a match prior to this. They did have a match. For people saying, "Oh, they had," I know. They did have a match prior. They had a match at the Great American Bash, which was a SmackDown branded event. Thing about it was the match ended in DQ. Of course, title cannot switch hands on DQ. So JBL got another opportunity at the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam. And this was a Texas Bull Rope match. And Batista defeated him. And Batista was still the World Heavyweight Champion. Just want to know. I'm sorry, no holds barred. That was the Texas Bull Rope at Great American Bash. This was a no holds barred, and Batista retained his title. So that's how JBL got put into the world title hunt.
And I kind of like JBL as the heel champion. I think he would have been he represents what $1 Million Man would have been had he won the world title. Even though the $1 Million Man is a way better technical wrestler.
Way better JBL. JBL was a tag team dude with the Acolytes or APA. I mean, he just had the great gimmick, and it fit him. He kind of, JBL always reminded me of a bigger, taller Miz, if you know what I mean, with the character. Him and Miz were always similar to me. It's just he was a bigger, taller version of the Miz. You got the character down, and you want the title at the right time. That's kind of how the Miz is.
One more time.
This is a wreck. He's moving like an uncaged animal. No lie, he's wild in there.
And back to what I to.
Yeah.
They had a Texas Bulldog match at SmackDown. That's what ended the feud between JBL and Batista. Just want to notate that. That's how the feud ended. They had another match, and it was a Texas Bulldog, and I don't think it was for the title. But that's how the feud ended. But yeah, JBL was always a bigger Miz.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Great info. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. Hit the subscribe if you're new over here. And we're going to carry on, guys. Because next, we went over this match already. We went over this. This is the Hogan and Shawn Michaels main event, guys. And at the end of the day, they did business. You know what I mean? Hogan can't tell Shawn Michaels how to do his business as long as he's doing the business. And one thing I get it. And this is the wrestling business is a dirty business, guys. Understand. Y'all go check that video out on how Vern Gagne and AWA fumbled the bag with Hulk Hogan. And you guys will see why Hulk Hogan is the way he is. You guys, y'all beat Hulk Hogan up. Y'all beat these stars up who paid dues and got treated how they got treated. Y'all forget, Stone Cold is just as sleazy as Hulk Hogan, Triple H, all of them, because they all had to pay dues and they all had somebody older than them at one point holding them down, oppressing them. You know what I mean? Salute to Shawn Michaels, though, for understanding. And he's one of the best. Shawn Michaels is one of the biggest politicians. This was a battle of egos, KD.
And you lucky this wasn't the 90s Shawn Michaels. It would not end it this way. I guarantee you that if there was a 90s Shawn Michaels versus Hulk, this match wouldn't even happen. No way.
You was right. You was spot on.
So it was the older Shawn Michaels. It was the older, mature Shawn Michaels. Also, I will notate what you said about the egos. The only superstar that was a world champion, that was the face of WWE that never heard politics was The Rock. He the only one I heard that did not play that game. Rock put over anybody. He put over a lot of people.
Right. The Undertaker. I have never heard the Undertaker not willing to put over anybody.
Yeah, those guys never politic. Now, Triple H, Stone Cold, Hulk Hogan, even your beloved John Cena, they played politics. Even Roman played politics a few times.
Yes, he playing politics right now.
Yeah, Roman Reigns didn't want to wrestle Bray Wyatt when he first became Universal Champion. So that's politics too. Nobody, him and Brock didn't want to work with Bray. So that's politicking right there. That's another reason why Bray Wyatt was kind of buried, because the bigger guy, the bigger names didn't want to work with him. They did it because it's his dark character, supernatural character. So that's politicking too. But other than that, yeah, Rock and Undertaker, they didn't play that game. And these are guys that are former world champions. These are guys who was at the top of the mountain. They didn't play that game. They didn't play that. They worked with whoever.
And with that said, guys, we moving on to the next. On our top 5 greatest SummerSlams of all time.
I hear voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me. You got to roll your religion.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall, making its way to the ring. From St. Louis, Missouri, weighing in at 245 pounds, the Apex Predator, Randy Orton.
Voice superstar has all the tools needed to win this one. Now let's see if he can put them together. This is what it's all about. Two competitors going head-to-head to decide which one is truly the best.
I can taste blood that's crying. I feel tension rising. I hear voices in my head. They counsel me. They understand. They talk to me. They talk to me. They tell me things that I will do. They show me things I'll do. They talk to me. They talk to me. They talk to me.
And approaching the ring, accompanied by Paul Heyman, from Minneapolis, Minnesota, weighing 286 pounds, Brock Lesnar.
You know, sometimes a superstar just has that look in his eye. And this is one of those times. I can't wait to see what happens when the bell rings and these things finally get to go at each other.
Man. This was a good one right here, KD. This was a good one.
One of the best ones in recent memory, actually. Very, very monumental SummerSlam. This was like it was a lot of fresh things that happened. Nothing recycled, something brand new, something we never seen before. Matches and feuds we never seen before. So definitely something that was different.
And I remember this year because we needed a good pay-per-view because it was looking crazy. The 2016 was not a good year.
Yeah, WrestleMania sucked. Yeah, WrestleMania
sucked.
Yeah. Everybody was hurt. Well, that's everybody was hurt. Everybody was hurt that year at WrestleMania.
Yep. Now look, guys, this year, WrestleMania 2016 took place in New York, guys. Brooklyn, New York, the Barclays Center, 15,974. And the main event was Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton.
The Beast versus the Viper. Also, too, this was the first year that the brand split was reintroduced. They brought it back. We had Raw and SmackDown broken up once again. Raw and SmackDown. Now, Randy will remain Randy and Brock different. They were not on the same brand. Randy Orton, SmackDown, Brock Lesnar, Raw. So it was inter-promotional brand match, which I liked. You know, and these two, of course, we know from the same class, 2002. Yes, it's always the four. You have Batista, John Cena, Randy Orton, Brock Lesnar. Now, Brock Lesnar has faced off against Cena as well as Randy Orton faced off against Cena, but we never saw Brock versus Randy. And I wish we saw Batista versus Brock. They had the one match in OVW, the training days, pre-NXT. But other than that, this was the first time one-on-one. This was a very good match. And Randy Orton hit RKOs out of nowhere. Brock, of course, he hit the F5s, did what he could do. It was a very good one-on-one match. And the match ended unexpectedly.
No, we're gonna run it. We're gonna run the card and we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that main event. Because that was key. That was key. Because that's what made this whole SummerSlam so surprising and different and weird and awkward. But we're going to get to that. So The show kicked off, guys, with American Alpha, Chad Gable, and Jason Jordan. Yes, guys, Chad Gable. He was a tag team. And it was dope in NXT, man. Oh, man. Them versus the new arrival or them versus Enzo and Cass. Take my money. NXT Gold, man. The Usos, Jimmy and Jay. It was one of the kickoff. It was the kickoff shows, guys.
Remember, we got the network at this time, WWE Network. So yeah, this was all on the network. That's when they start calling it PLE, like they do today. So,
right.
Yeah.
We also had Sami Zayn and Neville. You know, guys, he's Pac now in AEW, defeating.
That dude is dope. He's dope. He's a dope wrestler. I like him.
Yes, that's a team right there. Sami Zayn and Neville. They defeated the Dudley Boys on the kickoff show.
Yes, they did. Yep. Very good way to kick off there, man.
And this was the pay-per-view. This SummerSlam kick-started the Sheamus and Cesaro's best of 7, which Sheamus, he kicked it off with a win. And this whole concept started the whole tag team that was Sheamus and Cesaro. So
yeah,
that was well done.
Yep, very, very well.
Now, the next match, guys, is Chris Jericho, and Kevin Owens defeating, I just spoke him up, Enzo and Kaz, guys.
Yep.
And there you go, Jericho, the friend. This was the friendship joint. This was that whole friendship angle right here, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they were tag team partners. Yep, that was very good. That was actually that's when the whole list thing started coming about. Well, that came later, but it was right before that. But yeah, this was a good. Like I said, it was the reintroducing the brand split. They were on Raw.
That. And the next match was for the Women's WWE Championship. Dana Brooke is banned from ringside. Charlotte defeats Sasha Banks to win the title. So, you know, that's more of that flip-flop thing that Sasha...
Oh, the hot potato title.
That's the thing her and Sasha, they do for each other's ego. Like, oh, I'm going to die if I don't have the belt. Me too. So let's just flip-flop in. Okay.
Oh, my God, yeah. I'm so glad they changed that title. That is the dumbest name I ever heard. No, I don't think they called the Raw Women's title. Still was a dumb name.
Now, Miz, he followed up with a win over Apollo Crews. Like poor Apollo Crews, he's still looking for some victories. But the Miz, he retained the Intercontinental title against Apollo Crews, and that was followed by one of the dopest matches I've seen in a while. This match, man, the house that AJ Styles built. AJ Styles versus John Cena, man. Talk to us, KD.
This is this is a good one. AJ Styles, that same year Royal Rumble, debuted. He had a couple matches. He was actually in WrestleMania 32. He faced off against Jericho. Him and Cena, they cut a promo. Still babyface saying, "Hey, Cena, you know, it's an honor to be here. Want to face John Cena." Then the OC came out. John Cena was standing in the middle of the ring, like AJ was going to defend Cena, and AJ clocked Cena. And then the OC stepped in. The club, they jumped them. Then AJ was a heel. They had a match in Money in the Bank, but AJ won, and he had a little help from the OC. And AJ, I love how he cut the promo. He said, "Cena, I have to beat you clean. There will be no club, no nothing." He said, "When I beat you, Cena, you're like, this is the whole brand split. These two are on SmackDown." He said, "Cena, you will come. I will see you come on SmackDown Live. You will say, AJ Styles, you are better than me." He said, "If you don't, you're a liar. Either way, I win." That was a great promo by AJ. And AJ brought it. He just brought it. Anything John Cena brought to AJ brought it right back. Like he said, there was no interference from the OC. And this pretty much solidified AJ as AJ can hang with the best of them. And after this will put AJ into the world title picture, which he did win from John Moxley, formerly known as Dean Ambrose, at Backlash that year. But AJ Styles really, he let the world know he could go. The only regret is I wish he came to WWE sooner, but we know why, due to personal reasons. So other than that, this match was fire, man. One of the best feuds. Him and AJ and Cena always worked well together.
Yeah, that's a fact. And I think he carried Cena. He made Cena look good in this one too.
He did. Being a veteran,
Cena had to pull out new moves. He had Cena pulling out new moves, slingshot off the rope.
what's so crazy is Cena is normally the one to quarterback the whole match, as you call it, the quarterback whole match, and it was AJ quarterbacking this match. But we know why, because AJ is he has way more experience than John Cena. You know, they're actually the same age, but he had way more experience because AJ wrestled all around the world, New Japan, TNA, all of it. But he did make Cena look like $1 million in this match.
Facts. Now that match was followed by Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. This is the World's Tag Team Championships, the Bullet Club versus the New Day, Xavier Woods, and that was a disqualification. So the New Day retained their titles.
These guys, I don't think they ever won the tag team belts. It's a shame. They never won these belts.
Yep.
Them two, the OC never won the tag team belts.
Wait, yeah, they did. They won the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. They had the SmackDown.
Oh yeah, they didn't have it for long. I don't think they had it for long.
Yeah, it was a cheap victory.
And I don't think they ever held onto any more belts. It was so quick. But yeah, I do remember that feud. That match wasn't long either. It was under 10 minutes. And then you had the sleazeball from last SummerSlam that screwed John Cena, Jon Stewart. He was there. He was actually there. He was at that SummerSlam too.
Right.
For 15.
And look, now following that, you just said something that was important. You said everybody was hurt. And you could tell when your main event, when your co-main event for the WWE World Championship is Dean Ambrose versus Dolph Ziggler. Dean Ambrose defeats Dolph Ziggler to retain his title, though.
Yeah, this is actually one of 2 world title matches, and we'll get to that in a second. But this was the first world title match. Dean Ambrose him and Ziggler had great promo on SmackDown. Ziggler was like, Dean Ambrose, we similar, we the same. Dean Ambrose was like, no, we're not. He said he did a shoot on Ziggler. He said, Ziggler, all you do is complain and go to the front office about how you ain't getting pushed. He said, I don't do that. I just put in the work. He said, that's why I got this title. He said, people told me I want championship material. He said, I never cared. He said, you care what people think about you. All you care is it's your gimmick. Stealing the show. But it was a great back and forth. And Ziggler was like, I'm going to beat you. I'm going to defeat you. I don't care, Dean Ambrose. I started out as a cheerleader for Spirit Squad. He went off that background because he was trying to say you came. And then and Dean Ambrose was like, he was talking about Ziggler. And Ziggler checked him. Ziggler was like, come on, we're not going to act like you came here in the Shield with Rollins and Reigns. We ain't going to act like you came here with 2 guys. Come on, Dean Ambrose. It was a good back and forth.
That's fire.
Yeah, they had a great fight. And Dean Ambrose I love his promos. He be shooting, bro. He don't be just going story. You could tell. Even his AEW promos, it's the same way he did WWE. It's just more unfiltered than AEW, obviously, but he shooted on basically telling Dolph Ziggler, which he's known for. You're known for complaining and whining about it should have been me. That's kind of how that started. And he told Ziggler, I don't do that. I just work and I get my opportunity. So
it should have been me.
Yeah,
it should have been me.
Yeah, it was a great match. And this was called the WWE World Championship, not called the. I'm so tired of WWE. They didn't change this title name so much. Why can't it just be WWE Championship forever? We heard it's not Undisputed WWE Championship, WWE Undisputed Championship, WWE World Championship, or just call it the WWE Championship. But they did that because, like I said, reintroduction of the brand split, and Dean Ambrose won this at Money in the Bank, cashing in on the previous champion Seth Rollins. Since he got drafted to SmackDown and he never lost the belt due to Rollins or Reigns, never lost the belt, that was a SmackDown branded belt. And I know you're going to get to it later. Monday Night Raw needed a new belt, which they got, and they had the inaugural match that we'll talk about in a second. this is one or two world title matches. But I just got irritated with that name. I'm like, why they keep changing the name with this belt? It's called WWE title, man.
Right. And that's significant because when Cody said last year that I want the title that my father never won, he's talking about this title right here.
Yeah.
He's talking about this title. This was the title that Rollins had. This is the title that Rollins had. This is not the title that Roman have, because the title that Roman has, according at this SummerSlam, wasn't even created yet. But we're gonna get to that, like how KDH just said. So let's get to that. Matter of fact, the next match on the card was actually a women's match. It was Nikki Bella, Natalya, and Alexa Bliss defeating Becky Lynch, Naomi, and Carmella.
Yeah, this was a 6-woman's match. Yeah,
and then they unveiled the Universal Championship, guys. You see,
I don't even. My deal is this belt officially retired? Because no one calls this belt Universal no more. Ever since Roman lost the belt, I don't even hear that title no more. I think they literally merged it with the WWE title. This title's pretty much done.
Yeah, because they're rewriting history because they want Cody to get the title his dad never had, so they just gonna make it the title that his dad never had, even though the title that his dad never had belongs to him. It's all crossfire.
Yeah, this belt doesn't even exist no more, and this was the beginning of the end with that title. You see the it's red because it signifies the Raw brand. Like I said, Raw needed a new title since Dean Ambrose was on SmackDown. And it's the perfect color too, not just Raw because it's blood, and it seems like it's a cursed, bloody title. That's exactly what it is. It always ends in bloodshed, like someone's hurt, someone has to vacate it, or it's just bad. It was just a very cursed championship, and I know for what I've read that when they unveiled the belt, Brooklyn was not too pleased about this belt. They didn't like the design. They booed. They actually booed when they booed that belt. It's actually booed. They was not too happy about it.
And what's crazy about it, guys, at this point, the IC title is like minute, really, like, you know what I mean? So that whole IC curse is irrelevant because now it's on to this Universal title. But Finn Balor went on to defeat Seth Rollins to win the new title. We all know what happened. Finn Balor got hurt during the match and had to relinquish the title. So,
yeah. And the new champion will be crowned on Raw in a 4-way match. And that will be KO, as you showed earlier. He ended up winning the match with the help of Triple H, and they screwed Seth Rollins. Well, yeah, and if you don't know, that was Finn Balor's first match on the main roster in a world title match. Nobody has ever done that. He had just got drafted from NXT to Raw, and the fact that was his first match on a PLE and winning the world title, that was history making. They don't talk about that enough.
Big facts.
And he hasn't been a world champ since then.
Man, and that'll bring us to our infamous, and I say infamous, main event. Brock Lesnar defeating Randy Orton in a shocker. And when I tell you, I ain't never see SummerSlam turn off like this, like this. This is the biggest party of the summer. They normally send home everybody happy. Man, KD, break this one down, man.
Okay, well, like I said, these two, they never crossed paths. They came around the same time. Brock Lesnar, who's had a very good, respectable SummerSlam record. It's the same guy that beat The Rock at SummerSlam 02 to win his first world title. He beat Triple H a few years earlier, 2012, broke his arm. And he also took John Cena to Suplex City. But when Brock Lesnar is in the main event at SummerSlam for a world title, or any match, it normally don't end too well, and Randy Orton will be no different. He immediately start attacking Randy Orton, getting that work. Randy was getting a lot of offense from Brock. Orton came back. He hit him with a DDT off the top rope, and he had with RKO on an announce table out of nowhere. That was all good. But when Orton tried to go for a pump kick and Brock Lesnar got him for an F5, he got a near fall, and we thought it was over. Brock didn't. Respect to Randy. Randy kicked out. But once he missed the punt and Brock got up, I said, Brock ain't losing this match. I knew then. I said, Brock ain't losing. Brock ain't losing. I said, he missed that punt. If he had hit the punt, Brock would have lost. I said, Brock. And this is when Brock stood in that ring. Now, remember, like he stood in that ring, took them gloves off. He said, I'm about to give you a beating, boy. You don't want to take this arcade? You don't want to take this F5? Okay, you gonna get these hands. Literally get these hands. And he legitimately hit Randy Orton with numerous elbow strikes, and Randy Orton was bleeding. And he won TKO. I'll never forget Shane McMahon, the commissioner of SmackDown, came out. He just wants to look at Orton, and Brock Lesnar said, where you think you going? And Shane tried to look over, and he F5 Shane. And we know backstage, Chris Jericho, he's friends with Randy Orton. He said, what's going on? And Brock Lesnar, they got face-to-face. Michael Hayes and Triple H and Vince broke up the situation. And Vince McMahon said the ending was planned. It was, but he wasn't supposed to legit take Randy out with the elbows. He was supposed to give him the blood. Brock Lesnar brought that. Long story short, he brought the UFC MMA into this match. He wasn't supposed to. He literally brought that into this match. What's so crazy about this whole match too that people don't talk about, and I don't hear nobody talk about this enough, with Brock Lesnar. What's so crazy about this? Not only it was a legit thing. Brock Lesnar had an issue. He had an issue at UFC. I think this is when he did an appearance with UFC around this time. People don't talk about that. He had an appearance. I think it was like his last appearance. WWE gave him permission to have a UFC appearance. I think it was the last one he had. And what's so crazy about this is, I think this was around the time that Brock Lesnar was like suspended. Remember, he was suspended. He tested positively with the MMA. It was around this time. I think it was a couple months prior, but I know that he had something going on with the whole. He had something going on with UFC, and it was just wild because it was ouch. I mean, I'm like, man, Brock has so much going on at this point, and he couldn't pretty much be welcomed back to the MMA. He couldn't be welcomed back. So it was a wild situation with Brock Lesnar. He did win. I thought Randy would have got the dub. Like I said, once the punt was missed, I said, oh no. I felt bad for Randy when I said, oh no, Randy's not winning this match. You ain't no way Brock about to get him for a punt and lose. There was no way. I said that ain't gonna happen. And it just was not gonna happen. I didn't see in the cards. I just didn't see that.
It's over.
Yeah, it was over, and it was over, but it was a great thing. It was just this SummerSlam. So many bad things happened. Finn got hurt. Then Randy was taken out. It was so many bad things that went down because you remember on June, WWE granted Brock Lesnar a one-off opportunity to return to MMA at the UFC 200 in July, a month before this. And they said that Brock Lesnar would be back for SummerSlam. Remember, Brock was off TV. He was doing that stuff. Right. And the thing about it is they built this match 15 years in the making. But remember, July, WWE confirmed that it would take place despite of the US ADA notification in regards to Lesnar fight. He was out of competition. Sample collected on June 28th. He was tested positive for a banned substance. And then the second sample was taken in competition for July 9th. It was also tested positive, and it was believed to be hydroxychloroquine. and it was in a sample, and guess what? Brock Lesnar was not reprimanded for any of this, by the way. Despite him doing that, even though the wellness policy, he was exempt from that policy because he was a part-timer. Can we talk about nepotism? If that was anybody else, they would have got reprimanded for it. But not Brock Lesnar. Just wanted to notate that. That was behind the scene. He had an ongoing thing with MMA.
Oh, wow. That's good info.
People don't know about that. Info. Yeah. That might make it to the locker room. Might talk about that. That man had issues with MMA. That's why he never been back. He was tested positive twice. And within a few weeks of each other. And WWE did nothing to him. He never got suspended for that ever. Now, you know, if that was anybody else, they would never got suspended. They would have got suspended for that.
True.
They would have got in trouble. I don't even think he got fined for it. He didn't get a fine for it. And then you still let this man win. Even if he did get in trouble, they were like, okay, Brock, you got to lose due to that. Not Brock Lesnar. Not only he's not suspended, you still get to win the match. He still gets to win. That was crazy. Now, I want to notate one thing. That poster, if you look at that poster, if you go back to the original SummerSlam poster of everybody on the cover, if you notice in the far left behind Dean Ambrose, who is that? Isn't that Roman Reigns? Did you notice he's not on this card? He's not on this card.
Right.
Do you know why he's not on this card? Because he was suspended for taking for marijuana use and Money in the Bank, which you spent for 30 days. Because that's why Seth Rollins there beat him for the WWE title before Dean Ambrose cashed in. That's why Roman's not on this card. People don't talk about that. Roman was suspended. But that's what I'm saying. Roman, way before the tribal chief day, this is the big dog, not the tribal chief head of table. This is the big dog. He wants the name he is now. You see how he got suspended for that? Even though he's a full-timer, but nothing happened to Brock. That's why Roman cut them pro, be like, Brock, he gets away with everything. If that was anybody else, they get suspended. That's what I mean. Roman was not at this event because he was suspended. Roman was supposed to be at the SummerSlam, and he was not because he was suspended prior.
Good point. Great point.
We didn't talk about Roman. Why are you talking about Roman? He on the card. Roman was suspended at Money in the Bank. That's why he lost his title.
Great point. Great point. Guys, we're going to get to the fifth one, and then we're going to make our pick. Don't forget to hit that like button.
Yeah, get the
all right, guys. So, without a doubt, the fifth one, SummerSlam 2013, guys.
Cena and Bryan, one-on-one for the WWE title in the biggest match in the career of Daniel Bryan. Cena to the cover. Looking to put Daniel Bryan away. Powers out in two. Here it comes. Knuckle shuffle. Oh. Daniel Bryan has turned the tables on the champion. Cena gets the Smasher's very own hold. I'm feeling it in my veins. Over the head, Bryan pulls him over, hooks the leg, shoulders are down, he gets it on two. Loudly, and he tried to the side of the head. The universe loved this. Oh! Whoa! Top of the ring! He did it! Daniel Bryan did it! Daniel Bryan is WWE champion! Oh, man! And new WWE champion, Daniel Bryan! The fairy tale has come true! The dream of a lifetime! Daniel Bryan is WWE
champion. Oh my God. Oh my God. Mr. Money in the Bank, Randy Orton, briefcase and contract in tow.
Randy Orton's about to cash in.
Is Randy Orton going to ruin Bryan's moment? Oh my God! Oh my God! What are you doing? What the hell? What is this dude? Oh my God, no. Bryan's out cold. Randy Orton has cashed in Money in the Bank. Randy Orton is a 7-time champion.
And new WWE champion, Randy Orton.
Oh my God!
Man, this was a hell of a show. I'm not even gonna hold you. This was a hell of a show, and this was a good one. We'll just take overall on the show without going into any matches.
I think it was a great SummerSlam, great story build. This was a very the year so far for 13 was good, and it was just starting to heat up at this point. If I remember the SummerSlam, things were starting to heat up with everything, and we were starting to see some significant changes and some changes in WWE. People rising to the occasion. But other than that, we see some good stuff going on.
Facts. So, guys, this one took place in Los Angeles, California, at the Staples Center, formerly known as the CryptoCon Arena. 17,793 was in attendance, and the show kicked off with Rob Van Dam versus Dean Ambrose, and Rob Van Dam, he defeated Dean Ambrose. Want to give us a little bit of history on that match right there, KD?
Well, it was a pre-show match, like you said. Dean Ambrose was the United States champion at the time, and this is when RVD came back. He didn't really do nothing in his return. He has a little return, and Dean Ambrose, that's when he held the United States Championship for 350 some days, and he won the match by DQ, but he did not win the belt. This was pretty much Rob Van Dam, who won a 20-man battle royal. He last eliminated Mark Henry on an episode of Raw. He challenged for the U.S. belt, and he did not win. I think RVD did a couple more things that he just went off about his business though. But other than that, RVD was just there to put talent over, and he pretty much just came back to do his thing for a little bit. I don't remember RVD ever doing anything besides putting people over. I mean, he went the same RVD as before, but it wasn't too much with that match.
Okay, cool. So then that match followed Bray Wyatt versus Kane in an Inferno match, guys. This was the second Inferno match in WWE history. And I remember the first one involved Kane with Stone Cold Steve Austin, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they call it a Ring of Fire match.
Yeah.
Which is Inferno. It's PG era. They couldn't call it that. PG era, I guess. But,
okay.
Yeah. This
Bray
was
Bray Wyatt got a desperate win. He needed this win, man. Bray Wyatt, the character Bray Wyatt been played with. What you was gonna say?
Yeah, I was gonna say, you said it right there. It was a win that he needed. Bray was starting to get built up. He had just been on the main roster for about a year at this point, but he really wasn't doing nothing significant. But getting a couple wins on his belt helped him out. And Kane, of course, had no problem putting over talent.
Facts. I know that feud with the Shield, man. That should have put him over, if anything. But
definitely should.
Right. You got anything you want to add to that? That feud is crazy. I know we're getting a little bit off topic right now, but this is just a build up to that feud right there.
Well, I always thought the Wyatts and the Shield always benefited, and the Wyatts didn't. It always benefited the Shield more. And I thought it should have went a little more further, and it didn't do that. Like
Right.
I said earlier that Bray Wyatt, no one wanted to work with him. If I had to guess, they probably had their feelings towards Bray Wyatt then. Maybe Roman felt his way. I know Seth didn't have a problem with him, neither did Dean Ambrose. I think Roman felt some way back then. He never really wanted to do anything. He never got to a storyline with Bray.
Could have been a fraction supremacy thing where you want your team to be more than their team, and their team
Yep,
is getting,
could be that too. Yep, could be.
man,
But
that's
yeah,
crazy.
I thought they could have did more, but that's just me.
All right. So that match was followed by, okay, look at Cody. Go ahead, Cody. Cody in the building. About the crossroads, Damian Sandow. And
That's
that
his
was Cody for the
former,
win.
yeah, his former tag team partner. Um, this is around the time that Damian Sandow had the Money in the Bank contract, I believe. I think he had the contract still. Yeah, he had the contract.
Wow. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. But that match lasted 6 minutes.
Mm-hmm. It was quick though. I think this is Damian Sandow. This is a pre not American Nightmare. This is not the American Nightmare, Cody, but yeah. This is
Definitely
even
not.
not even a Stardust Cody. It was before the Stardust character. But yeah. I think it was the last time Cody Rhodes was pushed as a regular Cody Rhodes. He don't even wear trunks no more.
No.
Yeah, yes.
All right. That match is followed by what I think was one of the underrated matches of this card. Alberto Del Rio, who defeated Christian for the World's Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, he tapped him out. Um, this is when the world heavyweight championship was becoming a joke. It was always in the middle of the card or the beginning. They did not have to close out the show. World title, and it's right before the whole merge the WWE title in the world title. This title was really a joke at this point, and Alberto Rio, I liked Alberto Rio, but he did not really lift this title to the prestige like it should have been. He never did. Either one he did. He did his best, but they always treat this title like it was nothing. But yeah, it was definitely a solid match, though. Definitely a solid match.
Cool. This match, guys, was followed by Natalia and Brie Bella, which was followed by CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar, which was another good match on this card right here.
Oh
He
my
gave
God.
CM Punk that work, though.
CM Punk, I really thought was going to beat Brock. This was the best versus the Beast. And I love this whole thing. This is after Paul turned on CM Punk. CM Punk with the Wolverine beard. This was lit. This was a lit match. I wish they would have had a second match. Punk almost beat Brock. He almost beat him.
Yep. David and Goliath, pure David and Goliath.
Punk should have got over. I like Brock. Punk should have got over. Because I'm thinking Punk already lost to Undertaker at WrestleMania. He could have won this one. He could have won this match.
Right. All right. And this match was followed by a rather important one for Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler and Caitlyn defeated AJ and Big E Langston. Want to give us some backstory on that?
Yeah, this is when Dolph Ziggler, remember he was the World Heavyweight Champion, he cashed the contract at WrestleMania. Remember he had a very poor title run, and I think he got tired of AJ. I think one he broke off the whole the relationship with AJ and Big E, and he went off did his own thing. And AJ did not like that. It was a fun. It was a very interesting storyline. He linked up with Caitlyn, and AJ stuck with Big E. And since Dolph and Caitlyn defeated them, I think AJ broke off her partnership with Big E, and she did her whole thing. And that's how she got her Divas title run. But what's so crazy is he had history with Caitlyn on the early NXT days, pre Triple H, when it was the Performance Center. He was making out with her. This was a reality show day, so he already had some history with her. But this was a very entertaining match. And I will say Dolph Ziggler was never the same after he lost that World Heavyweight Championship to the guy you showed earlier, Alberto Del Rio. Never ever rebounded. Because he beat Del Rio, cashed the title on him. Then Del Rio wins the title back, but he won it in heel. They both switched places. This when Dolph Ziggler was a babyface and Alberto was the heel. It was a double turn. People forget to talk about that.
Right. Good call out. And this match, guys, was followed by the one of the main events, which was the whole Daniel Bryan John Cena debacle. I mean, boy, this is criminal because this is where we really started to get behind Daniel Bryan. Like, it was people were getting behind him. We always liked him. But this is when we saw the screw job, and this is when we were fed up. And we was like, enough is enough, man. This was a hell of a story. Triple H had his fingerprints all over this story right here.
Yes, not only was this a great match, this will be named Match of the Year by Pro Wrestling Illustrated. This was a match of the year. Yep. And also, this was the debut of Daniel Bryan doing his new running knee move. That was the first time he ever did that in WWE. I saw him doing a yes lock. He never had a finisher that was not a submission move. So it was a very, very memorable match. And of course, the first time ever Daniel Bryan had won the WWE Championship. He was world champion, but not WWE champion. So, and remember, Cena nose was broke. Remember his nose? His I know he got hurt, not his nose. His Cena got legit injured in that match. He was injured for real. Remember, we didn't see Cena on TV for a while. You know, I know Dan Bryan started the rivalry with Randy Orton. Cena was hurt in that match. He had to get surgery. Cena was hurt. He got hurt for real.
Good call out.
A lot of good memorable stuff in this match. I find it funny with Triple H. If you look back at SummerSlam 2011, you know, Cena Punk, title versus title. Triple H was special guest referee.
Right.
If you remember, Cena lost that match after his foot was on the rope, but Triple H so-called didn't see it, and he lost this. So I said every time Cena's in the main event of SummerSlam for a world title match, and Triple H special guest referee, Cena always lose. I just want to know that.
Right.
He always lose, but Randy Orton, this was Randy Orton becoming a heel again. Of course, the Money in the Bank winner. He cashed in with the help of Triple H. The fastest win ever for a contract cash in, 8 seconds. Pretty fast. Randy even had to hit the RKO. Think about it. Triple H did all the work for him. He's had the whole leg. Yeah.
Right. Because Brian just finished a bomb burner. And man.
Yep. So this was a very good SummerSlam ending. And this was the birth of the Authority. Let's not forget that, the birth of the Authority. And Daniel Bryan was so over, man. This was the whole Yes thing. The Yes was born. This was Daniel Bryan. He pretty much was like a 2011 CM Punk. Summer of Punk, we had Summer Bryan.
Facts. That's a fact. Man, so we have came to the conclusion, and that's all the matches right there. That's all the matches. That's all the top 5 greatest SummerSlams Which one you picking, Turnbuckle King? Which one you picking as the greatest of them all?
If I had to pick one, man, I would say 05. 05 is the best, man, because you had the custody of Dominic, you had the Hogan versus Shawn Michaels, Icon versus Legend. You had that match. You had the Matt Hardy and Edge. That story. It was just crazy. And what's so crazy? In a Cena, you had Cena and Jericho, and of other matches, but this was just so much stuff. And then the Orton and Undertaker feud, that was great. So many matches. This was a very memorable SummerSlam. Very memorable SummerSlam.
Man, I can't even argue with.
All right, we almost at the end here, guys. Of the best SummerSlams top ranked. I do want to mention a super chat that I did mention earlier. Salute to Figure 4 TV for the $4.99. Salute to you. He says support these channels. You can't hold us down. And I know he wants to play. I'll give him a soundbite he normally get. If Figure 4 TV's in here still.
Who the hell told you tonight was open mic night, bitch?
Yeet. But yeah, that is pretty much the end of we're near the end here, but this was a good one, guys. Very, very good one. This was a very solid list. Pretty much at this point here, but we got a little more to do. We're almost wrapped up. Keep the likes up, and let's continue on. We almost done here.
With what you're saying, but I gotta pick. I gotta go with. I'm going with 91, man. I'm going with 91.
That was my second.
Star-studded, man. When you talk about star-studded, you got Bret Hart, Perfect, Ultimate Warrior, Hogan, Macho Man. Man, listen, I gotta go with that one. It had so many storylines woven. It was just an up and down roller coaster. Watching that SummerSlam, you will really experience what WWE is supposed to make you experience. Up and down.
That is a great one. I like 91. I like 91. They both were up there. I just remember 05 so much better. I was around my time. 91, I just experienced that now, but 05, I remember the Hogan and HBK. I remember the politicking, and I remember all of it. And there was just so many good matches in there.
Yeah, 05 is tough to not pick, like, because of the star power too. That has some star power, and just the politics behind SummerSlam, guys. But again, it's been 2 hours. I hope you enjoyed. Keep in mind, guys, that we got 4 wrestling channels. All right, KDH, let them know your 3 guys. This is the Figure 4 TV. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Close the show, TBK.
Okay. Well, as you see on the screen, the R red carpet reign for weekly show reviews of Monday Night Raw, NXT, compare NXT and AEW on Thursday, and then SmackDown, and of course, top lists like these. I have audiobooks of these wrestlers on those. That's the main channel. Then you have Toxic Race Scandal, the stuff, the behind the scenes, the politicking, backstage fights, you name it. Relationships, the relationships behind the scenes. What you don't know about the relationships, that's the Toxic Race Scandal, aka KDH. And the third one, which is a brand new channel launch, that is Pink Square Circle. That's dedicated to women's wrestling, past women's wrestling, present women's wrestling, and the future of the women's division. So if you want to check that out, Pink Square Circle, all about female wrestlers. And that's the 3 channels there.
Salute to y'all. Salute to the Toxic Ring Salute to Red Carpet. Salute to Pink Square Circle. Much love and appreciation, man. I really enjoyed this.
And yes, that is the best SummerSlam's Top Ranked. We went over the 5 GOAT SummerSlam events. So appreciate you guys coming out. Remember too, we do have the voting in the first round. It's just about it's done. So you guys can catch your votes in. It's Sunday. We'll come up with the results of who advanced in the first round on to the second round of the best SummerSlam event ever. So let's not forget about that, guys. Let's not forget about that. But thank you guys once again. I greatly appreciate it. Greatly appreciate it. We got 1 week away from SummerSlam, so let's get ready for SummerSlam. Soon to videos will pop up for content for Red Carpet Reign, content that will be revolving maybe a PLE, weekly TV show, current, past WWE superstars, or just wrestling stars in general. You guys check that out. We are in there. Man, thank you guys for all your support. And thank you for Figure 4 TV for sponsoring the channel with the $4.99. We are 1789 strong, almost at 1800. Thank you guys for the support. We are always putting in the work. And you guys already know what it is. It's OUNT.